Hello sir, David Keaton, Associated Press. Thank you so much for making the time.
Thanks so much for having me.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
Weeks since the terrorist attacks on the 7th of October.
Hostilities have resumed between Hamas and Israel.
I regret that it was not possible to extend the pause in the hostilities because it had allowed it for much needed relief for people living in Gaza, but also the continued release of hostages. And I commend Qatar and others who are working to try to find a way to resume the pause, to reduce the suffering and to enable more release of hostages. I commend NATO allies, the United States, working hard to find. I think the suffering and the violence we have seen over the last weeks since the terrorist attacks on the 7th of October underlines the importance of not to give up the efforts to find a lasting political solution. I commend NATO allies, the United States, for working hard to find such a solution. But also, for instance, what Turkey does, another NATO ally, in providing humanitarian support and helping to get humanitarian support into Gaza. The NATO doesn't have the luxury of only being able to address one challenge at a time. We need to be able to address different challenges. NATO as an alliance is not playing any role in the Israel-Palestine conflict. So this week we had a ministerial meeting, NATO foreign ministers meeting in Brussels, and the clear message from all the allies was that we will continue to support Ukraine. Because we have to stand in solidarity with Ukraine, defending their territory, their country. So it will be a big tragedy for the Ukrainians if President Putin wins, but it will be dangerous also for us. Because the message that he and other authoritarian leaders then will get is that when they use military force, when they invade another country, when they violate international law, they get what they want. And that will make us more vulnerable and make the world more dangerous. When I came to NATO, it was important for me that NATO actually stepped up its efforts in addressing climate change as a crisis multiplier. Climate change forces people to flee, increased migratory flows. It increases competition for scarce resources. So climate change fuels conflicts, and therefore it matters for NATO. It's also the other way around, that wars and conflicts, they are undermining our capability to fight climate change. So therefore it is important to realize this interdependence and to reduce emissions to be able to reduce also the security consequences of climate change.
The meetings have been postponed. What conversations are you having at this moment, and what can you do to try and speed up this process for Sweden?
I met with President Erdogan this morning and I reiterated my message that the time has come to finalize the accession process for Sweden. I also welcomed the decision that President Erdogan took after our last call for some weeks ago to submit the papers of ratification to the Turkish Parliament, the Grand National Assembly. And the Grand National Assembly, or the Foreign Relations Committee in the Assembly, has started to discuss the proposal or the proposal for ratification. And my message was that I hope that the National Assembly can finalize these discussions as soon as possible, so we can finalize the ratification of Sweden.
Thank you very much.
Okay, all the best. Thank you. Thank you.
Good luck.
And good luck 3 weeks here. Very impressive.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I was at the Kyoto